right, I got the guys from the B Team podcast here, Riley, Million, and Garrett. How are you guys doing today?
I'm awesome. Are you kidding? I kill everything I see. I'm amazing.
It's a sick world. I'm a happy guy.
There you go.
Yeah, we're having a good show here in Fargo. It's a very unique show.
Yeah.
It's cool. The building has a personality, which is
sure does.
uncommon. You walked around and saw Brewhalla here. It's its own thing. It's got its own character. I love it.
Yeah. Artists here from all over the country. You're from Oregon?
Yeah, I'm all the way from Oregon. Yeah.
Super interested. So I got to talk to Garrett at the Euphoric Ink and Art Show in St. Cloud. I met Garrett. I got his story as far as like kind of the background and what led him to Black Coffin. But I'd love to get an opportunity. I'll get into the B Team podcast, but I'll just get an opportunity to get to know you two first, and then we'll talk about the podcast a little bit. So
Million first.
whoever, Million, let's hear your story. Where are you from?
So I'm a sawed-off rubberneck from Nodak. And
North Dakota native, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
born and raised in Nodak. I'm Nodakian. I say Nodak because then it hides my North Dakota accent. But 22 years tattooing in the area.
What shop do you work at?
So I work at 46 and 2,
Okay.
right down the street here, about 6 blocks to the east. East?
Something like that.
Military
The
left.
prison time that you spent. Yeah. Does that include your prison tattoo experience?
No, that doesn't include that. That's why I say 22 years professionally.
So let's talk about the prison
Before that.
experience.
Yeah, the prison experience. There was a lot of blown O-rings, fistful of blood. It was nasty.
A typical apprenticeship, as you
Yeah.
Typical.
Old school apprenticeship.
So how? And then your background here. How does a guy from Oregon get hooked up with these guys in the Midwest here?
Wow. That's a whole episode in itself.
Yeah.
I don't know. Bad luck, really. So,
Bad luck.
I'm Riley. I've been tattooing 17 years. I've got co-own Queen Bee and Lifetime Tattoos in Springfield, Oregon. Co-own is here we go. I'll never get it right. Co-owner and founder of the Evergreen Tattoo Invitational, Evergreen Autumn Show in Portland, the Evergreen Educational. We own Mr. Ice Cream in Springfield, Oregon on Main Street, and about a half a dozen other things.
A serial
That's
entrepreneur.
the tattoo portfolio. Yeah, kind of.
Wow.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
How did we meet? I don't know. I met Garrett Million actually years ago in Virginia, I believe. North Carolina. And then that led to Garrett, and we just kind of all became buddies. We kind of kept going to the same shows, and that turned into vacations and fishing, and we're tattoo buddies.
And so you guys are all artists, and then you had you collaborated on work, or how does the idea of the B Team Tattoo podcast
Well,
pop up?
it started out figuring out that we had 65 years of combined tattoo experience.
Wow.
Followed by a grand total IQ of 16.
It's a really rare combination. It's very rare that you have that many
So-
years of experience with that low of an IQ,
combined. It was just meant to be.
Tattooers, pretty standard.
Kind of normalized.
We're all kind of dumber than a box of shit. That's why we draw pictures.
I love it.
The B Team philosophy we kind of all would, when we'd go to tattoo shows, we'd be in the same hotels and having breakfast together. And we were constantly talking about tattooing in the marketplace and what's going on at each individual shops. And, Garrett's in Minneapolis, he's in North Dakota, I'm on the West Coast in Eugene, Oregon. And we found all these kind of similarities of problems and things that we dealt with all the time. And so we just started talking to each other and helping each other. But the B Team philosophy, if you will, I mean, we all have a different one. It's like we kind of all came into tattooing years ago with this idea of you kind of become a rock star tattooer. You kind of become this big name in tattooing. And at a certain point, you kind of realize that's kind of a very rare thing. We're obviously not the A Team, but what we try to portray to that to your everyday tattooer, so that's okay. But being popular has nothing to do with being successful in this business.
Not at all.
Never,
Right.
never. And we just kind of started thinking about that, so we started talking about that, and that led to the B Team podcast. We talk about different subjects that come across that are important to us. really they're just breakfast conversations or whatever that we just decided let's just start kind of doing that.
Yeah, I love that. I'll have you guys know I got a nobody cares #nobody cares sticker from Garrett when I was at St. Cloud Convention, and I put it up on a spot on my shelf, like on the edge of my shelf, and then I put my the award. My company gave me an award, and I have the award sitting right above the #nobody cares sticker.
That's something that we kind of came across, in our tattooing talking together too. Was that it was like, I don't know, I don't want to do this podcast. It might make myself look like a jerk. And then we're like, nobody cares. Nobody's going to listen. There's 5 guys listening, and 2 of them are, one of them's my cat. So
what kind of conversations are you guys getting into this weekend? What's on the agenda for content this weekend for you guys?
Millions prison time will be a topic for sure. We don't know. We are shooting one. I don't know.
I got a couple of them, and it kind of comes down to some things I've heard recently, and then it's really just more about shit not actually being about you. Like, and you always hear that term that it's not about you, and they're always talking about the person that is self-centered, crying about their life, but this is from the other perspective of the people that are like, fuck, I can't believe I fucking made them feel bad and all this shit like that. And then maybe it's not about you, maybe their fucking trauma is too much, so just that kind of conversation about give yourself some grace, because there's victims out there. Let them be a fucking victim.
I've been dealt that line a couple times by some females in life before. It's not you. Not you. It's me. Yeah.
Oh, it's definitely Garrett.
It's definitely Garrett.
Every time. Yeah.
Don't you smell?
But it is true. You when you come to a tattoo show, especially a good tattoo show, a great tattoo show that's produced well like this, with the right people in the room, it's very inspirational for us. We get to, talk about, like I said, we talk about the marketplace. We're looking at new types of art, new ways to adapt stuff. And we're talking about, a guy from California is talking about what's going on at his shop, and we're like, hey, that happened at my shop. And, so to an extent, it's networking for us. Mm-hmm. It's straight networking and maybe a little therapy too. Is that right?
A little audio therapy. I mean, every podcast is a therapy session. I believe that. I've done so many interviews with people about different things, and I love when I get that feedback. Like, man, I didn't know that this was going to help me unload so much stuff, or like help me like. I think at a core, people just want to learn about people. People want to be able to have an opportunity to share who they are and what means, what they're passionate about. Those are the kind of things that give us purpose as people. So certainly it's therapeutic.
You know that nobody cares, though. Right?
Nobody cares, though. But nobody cares, really. So let's talk about like convention dynamics a little bit. Obviously, you run your own show. This show is unique to the other 2. I've only been to, this is only the 3rd convention I've ever been to.
Oh, wow. So
I'm like learning all this as I go, sort of. But talk about dynamics. Collaboration is obviously the number one reason why people do this, but there's a lot more to it than that.
It depends. It can get real deep. I mean, to one degree or another, I believe all 3 of us got together over a decade ago, either through a tattoo show or by means of a tattoo show that was nowhere near our homes.
Yeah, like the complete other end of the country.
Yeah, so you're 3,000 miles away and you make a connection with somebody and they become a friend of yours. Next thing you know, you're fishing in Mexico with them and stuff, although that might be kind of rare and far apart, but like those are bonds that last forever. So those things can happen at a tattoo show, But the art is really, we're true tattooers to the core, and we get to produce tattoos, and that's what we live for, But you get burned out. You just straight get tired of this after a while. And a tattoo show can totally recharge you, reinvigorate you, and you can go into it with one attitude and come out of it with a completely different one. Am I right or what?
Yeah. The just getting out of the shop a lot of times it's a working vacation. You're still doing the same thing, but you're looking out a different window with a different local cuisine and hanging out with your buddies and million. It's breaking up the norm, and we did an episode recently about when you have something to look forward to. If all you're doing is grinding every day, noon to 10, and you're just doing the same thing, you have nothing to look forward to. It's really easy to get lost in that. Next thing you know, you blink and your kid's 18. When you throw a convention out there once a month, once a year, whatever it is, it gives you something to look forward to, and Of course, the camaraderie and the social aspect of this is, I mean, if I want to make money, I'd stay home.
Yep.
But I can't hang out with you guys, and I can't hang out with, well, there's 3 cool people over there. And I can't hang out with the rest of the assholes at my shop.
Right.
So, I mean, that's what it is for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's like summer camp. For tattooers, it's summer camp. We get to see old friends, make new friends, do some arts and crafts, and travel.
Yeah.
Really comes down to that.
Yep.
But then there's lasting bonds that could happen, but and then there's sometimes they're just cunts.
Yep.
That you know who not to deal with, because they smell like worms and bad
They
attitudes.
smell like poverty.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like a bad cul-de-sac in a terrible neighborhood. That's what they smell like.
But they look pretty.
Well, yeah, but that's
I mean, they
the
win
thing.
awards.
They
That's
do.
a typical 18.
They do win awards. And
attitude.
amazing, probably tattoo artists, just horrible people.
Yeah.
But the B team philosophy with nobody cares is kind of where it is. Like we actually do care a whole lot. We care a lot,
Yeah.
but do others. And by us caring, that's how other people care. So
Right.
we say, kind of ironically, we go, nobody cares because you've got problems and things aren't going well. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
You gotta,
Yeah.
And in essence, we are the nobodies that do care.
yeah,
Love that.
right, yeah. So it's like Revenge of the
It's all
Nerds.
good. It's all good. We'll figure it out there.
Nice. We good? All right, that's my
Let me go
voice.
check that real quick.
Yeah,
I can fix that if I need to. I needed to check it
that is
anyways.
nice. Very nice.
Perfect.
That's how much people don't care.
Look at those guys.
They just-
That's how much they don't care. Look
Get
at
it. They'll get it raw. It's
You guys-
okay. I give it to the
Adonis
people raw all the time. I love giving people the whole. If someone bumps over the camera, we just roll through that.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
It's
So.
we don't polish anything, as you may have noticed.
I think there's a certain art to that, and I think that I don't know. 'Cause certainly, some episodes probably lose people or people stop tuning out. But I've always appreciated giving people a raw conversation. Like, we had this conversation. Let's let everybody else experience this conversation exactly how we had it. So
that's what we do too. We say
Yep.
a lot of ums, and there's
Yep.
a lot of editing.
Most of the editing is just cutting up the ums, ahs, dead space, and swearing.
yeah,
Well,
that's swearing.
there's a wonderful young lady that's a part of the B team, and she's like our handler, editor.
Yes.
I don't know what she'll tell us what to do most of the time, and she's like very, very awesome and amazing. Maisie is amazing and an amazing tattoo artist too. But like she works with me, and she kind of saw what we were doing and kind of just came to me and went like, you guys, this isn't gonna, let me take over. And she just kind of, I don't know, I guess she's the boss
Yeah,
now.
she
Yeah,
moms
she's
it.
kind of mom that's like,
I envy you guys. You have
Yeah.
like this team feeling to you.
Yeah.
I'm just a one man show, but I envy that. Like everybody kind of plays a part. And
if you saw the three of us walking around a swimming pool in Las Vegas, there's some people that are there, like moms most likely, or wives that are like, who's supposed to be looking after those three morons? Because like they're drinking.
We're all supervised. We're currently
Yeah.
being supervised
Yeah.
right now.
Actually, there's right there's one. Yeah,
we have a
it's like
supervisor.
we'd be drinking suntan lotion and stealing towels and giggling, because
I love it. I
can
love
do
it.
that.
What are we working on this weekend? I saw you had a super cool portrait piece that you were working on.
Yeah, I'm working on some Johnny freaking Cash today.
Cash.
Yeah.
I love Star Wars.
Yeah. I think he played Admiral Akbar.
Yeah.
Million, what are you jamming on?
I'm doing a portrait of a dog that sadly passed away last week. So we're gonna knock it out.
Do you guys just get completely desensitized to death? as
Absolutely
tattoo
not.
artists? Like, yeah, somebody died. Oh, that's really, really sad. I'm really, really sorry to hear that.
Only if it's people. If it's animals, we feel bad.
We
But if
feel
it's
bad
people,
every-
we're like, yeah, sorry that happened to you. Fuck you.
If it's like a cat or something, that would be different. I'm not doing any tattooing at this show this weekend. I'm hosting the show for Athena and AJ, who own the show,
Okay,
and I'm doing the judging of the competitions this week.
Okay.
So I'll be up on stage all weekend,
cool.
with my compadres and my
painting,
homeboys.
and painting.
Oh, I know. I'm painting.
Oh,
I'm
this is
painting
your
a bird.
half-finished
Yeah,
painting there.
Yeah, I'm just
Cool.
nobody cares. I'm gonna throw it away.
Cool, guys.
It's,
Well-
it's supposed to be a chicken. It's not going that
It
way.
looks like a crow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a goth
Yeah.
chicken.
Why does your crow have such a big pecker?
Well,
I love it. I love it. Well,
I respect its privacy, so I'm not looking.
well, what else is relevant here to know about the B team guys? You guys, whether it be your operations, what you want, how can the people find you guys? Where are you at?
We don't even. I don't. I don't think we even know our email. I'm going to hand this off to somebody that might.
We have an email. We don't know if it's the B Team Podcast at Gmail or if it's just B Team.
Tattoo podcast.
Bad team. Yeah, we gotta can't forget the tattoo because there's like 85 B teams on there. Found that out after we started publishing.
Well, I found you guys on Instagram. I think it's just B Team Podcast.
Perfect.
Maybe there might be a tattoo in there.
I
though.
think there's tattoo
we're
in there.
On, I think we're on Spotify.
YouTube.
Spotify,
Well, you dropped the
YouTube.
ball that one time.
Yeah. Well,
Are
yeah.
we on Apple,
See, this
whatever?
is-
Apple Music
We're
or
on-
Apple
we're on
Podcasts or whatever.
The truth is, we don't even know where we are.
I think Pornhub,
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Yeah, my rapper's career's taken off pretty good.
You know, the B Team Podcast is like, I think whatever level tattooer you were or wherever you come from, you're going to take something from it.
Yeah.
And that's the idea. Like, we're speaking from the heart about real things that matter. And, we obviously don't have any ideas of making ourselves famous or something off of something like that. We don't care about that. So it's like we're able to speak from the heart. We have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Our careers are bulletproof.
Yeah.
We know who we are, so we
Yeah.
can do that. Where
Awesome.
I think if you're in this business, sometimes it's not easy to be forthright.
Yeah.
Not nothing against them, but they have a lot to protect. They're
Everybody
tattoo
brings a
business
different
image.
perspective.
Sure.
Everybody, like, I'm not a tattoo artist at all. I live underneath a tattoo shop, and I
Right.
love hearing people's stories.
Yeah.
You
See,
know,
there you
but
go.
like, I think obviously if you're doing a tattoo podcast, you should know a little thing or two about tattooing. So you guys probably have some good content for artists as far as your perspectives for artists.
Well, it's like that. Like we've talked about that in the show before. It's like just FYI for you, Garrett. How many artists do you have in your stable?
17 tattooers, 2 piercings.
that's insanity.
I've got 20,
Sickness.
and
That's a sickness.
That's
You
a
got
lot.
3?
Yeah, but that's a
quality. They're 3
Yeah.
very, very good.
Yep.
that's a lot of personalities that we deal with. That's a lot of management. That's a lot of money, time management, taxes, licensing, marketing. We know we're dealing with a lot. Just that one subject alone, that's something that we could talk about, frankly, amongst the three of us on camera,
Yep.
and maybe give some insight to somebody else. How many shows you do a year, Garrett?
I think 8 or 9 this year. It used to be like 15.
And I got it down to 6.
Yeah, I'm about 5. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
It
Oh, well,
used to be 10 plus.
well, let's do now. We've got
Managing 17 people, yeah.
like 60 some years of tattooing experience. How many shows do you think we've done collectively, the three of us? Because I used to do a lot. A couple hundred.
Easily over 200.
Yeah.
What's the coolest convention you've ever been to? Is there one that stands out above them all?
There is, if you don't mind. I'm
Yeah.
not. It's not a shameless plug.
Yeah.
My favorite tattoo show that I've ever done is the Blue Lake Tattoo Show in California. It's a 40 booth show. It's right outside of Eureka on an Indian reservation called Blue Lake, and it's my favorite show.
Why is that?
I know everybody there. It's like a family reunion.
Yeah.
The pressure's off, and it's not a lot of grandstanding or anything. It's just real good people doing real good stuff. So
Yeah.
that's one of my favorites.
I love that.
One of the things that we've addressed a few times before, as far as conventions, the difference between a good convention and a not so good convention. The whole idea of a convention was to bring artists from out of town to your city, so you could get a chance to get tattooed by them. Tattoo the Earth back in 2000, I think it was exactly that. It was this star-studded lineup, and they just go city to city to city, and didn't matter. You weren't getting on it, unless you were the A-lister. And what's changed now, seemingly, and I'm sorry if anybody takes offense to this. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
I'm sick of seeing these shows where it's 40 booths sponsored by this company, 40 booths sponsored by that company. Everybody flies in their fucking clients. They sit for 3 days in a row, and all it is this fucking circle jerk where everyone's trying to win first place. These artists don't talk to each other. They don't know each other. Of course, they don't know who we are, but that's fine. But there's no one there to do these walk-ins and walk-ups, and everyone's, if you didn't get in to book your appointment with Mr. Big Shit 6 months ago, you're not getting tattooed. Tell me how a convention like that is going to make money. How are you going to sell tickets?
Like the definition of a dog and pony show, really.
Yeah.
kind of, you know.
Yeah, you need to appease to the people that are going to
Yeah.
show up to walk through your event.
You know,
Absolutely.
I want to tattoo people. I don't want to tattoo my homie. I want to tattoo new people. I want a new experience. If I want to make money, I'll stay home. If I want a good, enriching experience, I'll come here.
And like on the flip side of that too, and Sam and I talked about this, the tattoo industry could very well be reaching an inflection point with the amount of artists and the amount of shows that are happening. I mean, it feels like there's a new show popping up all the time in a new place. Like it's very saturated market. Thoughts on that?
Depends on the market.
Yeah, we got whole episodes about the saturation
Okay.
of the market, but yeah, I mean, the renaissance of tattooing since Ink Master come out and kind of the popularity, the bubble burst.
Yeah.
So now the cream's going to rise to the top, and the people that have a good, solid business, they're not just depending on their popularity or their trophies. They're gonna keep tattooing and keep serving the communities that they work in and doing dope tattoos. So it's the bubble burst. We're just gonna see how everything lands over the next probably 3 years.
Recess is over.
Well, yeah.
Recess is over, guys.
Coining
Time to go
that
back to
phrase.
class.
Yeah, we've been coining that phrase for a while there. You know, it's the tattoo reset. That's what it is. The Renaissance is over. You're not going to see new innovations coming out for quite a while. It's just not going to happen. So, you know, Renaissance means that it's happening right now.
You guys talk about technology,
All
tattoo
the time.
technology quite
Yeah,
a bit.
Absolutely.
AI,
not
AI.
digging in, but
Garrett,
yeah.
I know you work with AI to design some of your fishing lures and stuff. Is that correct? Or is
No,
that-
those are art, but I
Okay.
do use AI on multiple levels for my business, my tattooing, and all that. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you ever think like I've seen, and I know that they're like very, very proprietary new, but like tattoo printers or like body printers, things like that. Is how far away from that are we?
Here's the thing, man. A few decades ago, they came out with these bartending machines where you would push a button, Coke, Jack Daniels, ice. They came out, I used to deal poker. They came out with digital poker machines, and it got rid of the human error. You know, you would get your cards and slide up and look. None of these took off. The reason is because the human element. It's nostalgic, you know, like it's not going anywhere. How many bartending machines have you seen?
I have never had a drink mixed from anything but a human before.
And the reason is, they want that, it's part of the ambiance. I don't know. That's a big word. I don't know what that means.
Well, the 4 listeners that we have, well, somebody will know what it means. There's one smart one out there. I know there is.
Maisie's probably watching.
Maisie's watching. She'll
It's about the
explain it to us.
experience. Yeah.
But, you know, you're talking about, any kind of digital advancement like that would replace a tattooer. You'll never replace a tattooer, even if you could come up with that. But it's like right now, just because there's digitally engineered meat and it may be amazing, and however, I'm not eating that shit. I'm not eating that shit. I don't give a fuck. I don't
I'm
care.
not eating that. I'm not eating that.
And that's going to be the disposition of human nature for a while.
Yeah.
There'll be somebody that I'm only going to eat that engineered meat. It's safe, no bacteria. I can't get sick. It's amazing. You wouldn't know the difference. I don't fucking care. I'm not eating that.
fucking hamburger.
No, I'm looking for a dirty burger.
Yeah. For sure.
Speaking of dirty burger,
The burger is saucy, sir. Saucy. Don't drop it on the ground and it won't be dirty.
Yeah.
Fin
Well-
and ink. You mentioned that.
What's that?
Fin and ink.
Fin and ink?
Yeah, Garrett's Hookers.
Yeah, it's hookers. Are you talking to me about that?
we may have talked about it last time, but I own a tattoo-inspired fishing lure company.
Yeah.
All designed by tattooers. This is a shameless plug. You can delete this if you want. Riley put me up to it. But yeah, I sell tattoo fishing lures. I don't know.
Yeah, I meant to ask you about this because I felt like there was a lot of things I didn't get to talk to you about in the first interview I did with you, the B Team podcast being one of them, and the fishing lures being another. So you're an angler? You're a fisherman?
A million.
What? Hi. Sorry. Yeah, I got lost. I was shit over there.
Squirrel moment over there.
Squirrel. Sorry, what was the question?
Your fishing lures, like,
Oh,
are you an
yeah.
angler? How did that come
yeah,
to be?
you know, it's like tattooing. I'm not very good at it, but I enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, I can't catch shit. But I sell lures. No,
It's art. It's
I
an
do
art.
enjoy it.
It's a cool art piece.
Yeah, it's a nice little blend. I mean, tattoos, fishing, and beer, like it just
Yep.
goes together. I bought the company actually. It's not my company originally. I didn't come up with the concept, so
Okay.
I thought it was an ingenious concept. I started bringing the lures for these guys to conventions, and I just loved it. I thought it was great, and not to mention, it also got people to stop by the booth, you know, and interact, and then I could sell a tattoo. They hit me up earlier this year, and you know, their kids are in football, hockey, ballet, and they said, "Hey, you want to take over?" I tried to play real coy. I'm like, let me think about it for yes, okay. And then it became mine, and you know, we talk about exit strategies and whatnot. Riley's doing a seminar tomorrow on. Is that what it is about? I don't mean to spoil it for
We're going to talk
anyone.
about a couple of things, bullet points, but that's one of the big ones. Is exit strategies for your
So, you know, I realize my body, back, and hand and brain can't keep up for everything. So I'm going to try to get into Cabela's or something. I don't know.
Okay. There you
Okay.
go. There you go. And what was
hear
your
that,
seminar
Cabela's? We're
about
coming
yesterday?
for
I
you.
saw, sorry, what was you gave a seminar yesterday, right?
Yep. Great turnout, actually. I did a seminar on AI and on AI art for reference, not for pirating and stealing and making prints necessarily, but how to get a new reference material versus
Yes.
using Google or the same old books and whatnot. It's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. I'd like to throw in a quote that says, I would. AI is not going to take your job, but people that know AI, they will.
That's right.
It's not going anywhere, so I don't know.
The efficiencies that it will cut out, I see it in like, I talked to Sam about this. Sam hates it. He's adamantly against AI. He just that human element aspect of it. Obviously, you want to create your art. You want to like, but man, if you could cut out some steps and you can save yourself some hours of drawing at night, like
you know,
the monotony of it, you know.
It's still art. Let me rephrase. After I have my reference image, that's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
I'm taking it as a reference image.
Correct.
And still doing my thing with it. It's still got me in it. It's 100% me, whether I like it or not. Style is nothing more than self-plagiarism, okay? I'm not talking about replicating everything. I'm talking about using it for reference. I know there's a lot of people that don't like it, and that's fine. I mean, that's cool. You do you. I'm gonna do me. You sit up 8 hours a night drawing, and your client doesn't like it, and you spend another 8 hours drawing, and you do that. We're out fishing, you know, like for real.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, why do I want to do that?
I've put too many hours into this already, and I'm fine with that. But I'm sick of being a slave to the needle, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, an endless reference library. I mean, that's a dream, and now it's right there at your fingertips.
Oh, can I have 10 of those and
Yeah.
then I see which one I like
Yeah,
the most?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, it's
You got it.
unbelievable.
All,
Yep.
all it does is just fuel the artistic fire,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Cool.
which it's awesome. That's amazing.
I apparently we're the only one that cares. Nobody
Yeah.
else cares.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Million doesn't.
But
care.
I cared. I cared enough to have this conversation with you guys. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciated it. I mean, it was really nice to get to know you guys, hear about your show. Looking for. You said you're doing a seminar tonight or tomorrow?
I'm doing one tomorrow. Yeah,
Tomorrow.
morning.
Okay. Cool. I'm not gonna be around for that, but just here for today. I don't know how many interviews I'm actually gonna get today. I definitely wanted to talk to you guys, and we'll talk to a few other people here. But I really appreciate your guys' time here. It was really nice to get to know you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.